Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a hair tutorial on how to get these curls. They are loose kind of, but still sexy, somewhat Victoria's Secret model type curls. So if you like what you see and want to learn how to achieve this look, continue watching. So first things first, I'm going to brush my hair and then part it where I want to part it because my part's kind of crazy right now, and then blow dry it, and then I'll get started curling it. My hair typically, when I try and part it, it naturally wants to go towards the middle here, but I like to part it a little bit more to the side. So as you can see, my hair, you can see it a lot better once it's dry, is very damaged and it's very frizzy and there's a lot of breakage. So what I like to use is this Herbal Essences conditioning mousse, and it smells really good. So you're supposed to shake it before you spray it, and then it also says be careful with spraying it because a little bit goes a long way. I definitely learned that the hard way. Like, you really need to not use that much of this, or else you're gonna have like so much you're not gonna know what to do with it. Just like that. It comes out like whipped cream. It kind of goes all over the place. See, I barely squirted and all of this came out. And then when you rub it in your hands, like, there's so much. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all of this. So I kind of first, I just rub it on the top of my hair and then try and get a little bit underneath here on both sides. And then I flip my hair over so I make sure that I get the bottom here. And then that way I can get the ends easier as well. And already my hair looks a lot better. A lot of the frizz has calmed down, and the breakage and like the little flyaways that I have, especially on top here, are less noticeable. And again, this stuff smells so good. You can kind of see a little bit already how it looks a little bit better just from putting a little bit of that on. So now that I have fully dried my hair, brushed it, I have the part where I want it, and then I put the conditioning mousse on it, I am going to start curling it. Okay, so my straightener has now heated up, so I like to start on this side, and what I do is I try and pull as much of my hair onto this side as I can, just so that there's not much hanging over here. And I like to do the front couple of pieces last, just so that they last a little bit longer. So I'm gonna start. I take usually pretty big chunks because I don't want my curls to be too much. I don't want them to look like pin curls. I want them to look like curls but somewhat loose. So what I do first is I do always start at the top and straighten the top part up here to try and tame a little bit of that frizz. And then starting right about here, that's when I start to turn it. And then you turn it completely, grab this hair here so that it stays straight, and then you just slowly move down. What you should always try and do is always try to keep the straightener moving a little bit, at least somewhat slow, so that you don't create kinks from it sitting there, which I was just having a hard time with, so I probably will have a couple of kinks like up in here, but then you get like a really pretty curl, and I like using the straightener over the curling iron. So then we're gonna take another big section here, straighten the top, and then about halfway down, start to turn it, pull this hair through. And again, you don't want to do this too slow. I mean, you can if you want like pin curls, but for me, I would rather them be a little bit loose. So I like to do it a little bit quicker, so it creates kind of a more of a loose curl like this one, rather than this one, which is a little bit tighter. So again, straighten the top. And then start to curl about halfway down, and then just pull it through, and you'll get a nice loose but still shaped curl. And then once we get all the way around, you can start running your finger through these and pulling them apart so that they look even more loose. Now, I have done this enough times to know that I don't need hairspray for my curls to stay. My hair typically tends to hold these very well. If you have thinner hair or hair that doesn't hold curls, or doesn't hold, if you straighten your hair and it doesn't hold it very well, you may want to use either a little bit of hairspray at the end all over, or some people prefer to squirt the hairspray after each curl that you make. Either of those would work. It's just, hairspray is going to make your hair feel very stiff. And then once I've done pretty much this whole side over here, so now I'm going to switch to this side. And then one thing that's important to remember when you're curling your hair, either with a straightener or with a curler, is to always curl them away from your face. So like this here, I'm gonna turn the straightener out and away towards my face. You can use a curling iron to achieve this same look. I just personally like to use a straightener because it's easier for me. I know how to do it this way a little bit better. And then with using a curler, there's always that little clamp at the bottom, and that creates kinks again, which I don't like. So using a straightener where you can kind of move it through, you don't get those kinks. So I prefer using a straightener. Alright, so we are almost done. And then that's another benefit of using a straightener over a curler, is that if you do get any kinks with it, you can just straighten them right out.